WBC lightweight champion of the world from Brick City, Newark, New Jersey, the champion, Shakur Stevenson! Ring Magazine and Lineal, junior welterweight champion of the world, from Brooklyn, New York, and representing proudly his Honduran heritage, he is the Takeover, Teofimo Lopez!
I want you to protect yourself at all times. Keep this fight clean at all times. And what I say, you must obey. Good luck, touch him up.
January 31st, Madison Square Garden is glowing with that special electricity only the biggest nights bring. The crowd isn't just loud, they're restless, hungry for something historic. And Ring 6 delivers exactly that. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson on one of boxing's most sacred stages. This isn't just another fight. It's a rare collision of styles that almost never meet without fireworks. Blazing speed and surgical precision against raw power and controlled chaos. Two fighters at the absolute peak of their confidence, each convinced the other is walking into a nightmare. Titles are on the line. Legacies are hanging in the balance. By the final bell, one reputation will never be the same. Inside the arena, the energy is thick. Backstage, Teofimo Lopez looks every bit the defending champion, relaxed, loose, even smiling like the pressure fuels him instead of crushing him. No tension, no frantic energy. This is his house, his moment, and he's carrying himself like a man who expects to leave the same way he walked in. Across the hall, Shakur Stevenson is the polar opposite. Quiet, laser-focused, almost detached. He makes weight effortlessly and barely reacts to the chaos around him. No wasted motion, no emotion. The undefeated southpaw knows this fight isn't one with noise. It's one with timing, discipline, and ice-cold execution. Lopez steps out first and Madison Square Garden erupts instantly. The cheers hit like a wave, giving the champion a clear psychological edge before a single punch is thrown. Stevenson follows moments later, calm and completely expressionless, soaking in the roar without flinching. He steps into the ring like a man who's already blocked the entire world out. The Ring Magazine and WBO Super Lightweight titles are raised high under the bright lights. Final instructions are given. Both men nod. The bell is seconds away, and the tension inside the garden feels heavy enough to touch. When the bell rings, neither fighter rushes. Right from the opening seconds, it's clear this won't be a reckless brawl. It's going to be cerebral. Stevenson immediately starts establishing range, snapping quick jabs while gliding laterally, forcing Lopez to constantly reset his feet. His speed shows early, not flashy, but clean and efficient. He lands touches and disappears before Lopez can react. Lopez doesn't bite. He stalks patiently with his hands high, eyes locked, reading patterns instead of chasing highlights. Every step forward is deliberate. When Stevenson darts in, Lopez answers with subtle feints and short movements, testing reactions rather than swinging for the fences. Shakur's shots are landing, but they're light and controlled, points more than damage. Late in the round, Lopez finally asserts himself, digging hard to the body and forcing Stevenson to engage longer than he wants. The crowd feels the shift immediately. As the bell rings, the message is loud and clear. This fight will be fought on a razor's edge. Intelligence versus force. But that was only the opening move. Stevenson comes out sharper in the second round, increasing his output while keeping perfect discipline. His jab becomes more varied, upstairs, downstairs, followed by quick counters. Whenever Lopez presses too aggressively, Shakur's footwork stays crisp, always staying that dangerous half-step ahead. Lopez absorbs the shots without panic, walking forward with the calm confidence of a man who believes the fight only gets easier the longer it goes. Midway through the round, he lands a heavy right to the body that makes the entire arena react. It doesn't drop Stevenson, but the sound of it is thicker, meaner. Shakur refuses to abandon his plan. He won't linger in exchanges, constantly turning angles and resetting before Lopez can unload. The round stays tight, competitive, and tense. Stevenson's accuracy stands out, but Lopez's pressure is becoming impossible to ignore. And quietly, underneath it all, the rhythm of the fight is starting to change. Lopez makes a clear adjustment coming out for the next round. Instead of chasing in straight lines, he starts cutting off the ring, stepping laterally, and shrinking the space Stevenson had been using so comfortably. His footwork turns more aggressive and purposeful. Shakur's movement is still sharp, but now he's forced to work harder just to maintain distance, constantly resetting as Lopez edges closer. Midway through the round, Teofimo finds the opening he's been hunting. A looping right hand crashes through the guard, not picture perfect, but heavy enough to jolt the entire arena. The crowd explodes. Lopez smells momentum and presses forward immediately. Stevenson doesn't flinch. He fires back with crisp, well-timed combinations, snapping quick shots and pivoting out before Lopez can load up. There's no panic, just pure discipline under fire. The exchanges grow sharper and more frequent as both men test exactly how far the other is willing to go. By the bell, the feeling out process is officially over. Both fighters are fully locked in. Stevenson opens the round with a different look. He's no longer just reacting, he's anticipating. As Lopez steps forward, Shakur times the entries perfectly, slipping just outside danger and firing clean counters that snap Teofimo's head back. For a moment, it looks like Stevenson has cracked the code. But Lopez refuses to be deterred. He digs deep, changing levels and unloading brutal body shots designed to drain rather than impress. For the first time in the fight, Stevenson shows a subtle reaction. Nothing dramatic, but noticeable. His movement slows just a fraction. His resets take slightly longer. The crowd feels it instantly. This round carries real weight. Stevenson's accuracy is still sharp, but Lopez's power is starting to leave a visible mark. As the bell rings, the tension inside Madison Square Garden spikes. The fight is balancing on a knife's edge, and everyone in the building knows it. The tempo shifts immediately. What had been calculated and patient suddenly turns urgent. Both fighters start exchanging more frequently. Stevenson's footwork remains sharp, but he's spending longer moments in the pocket, choosing to stand his ground just enough to make a statement before slipping away. That decision comes at a cost. Lopez finally unleashes his cleanest combination of the night, a sharp sequence that starts upstairs and finishes heavy to the body. The sound alone pulls a massive roar from the crowd. It's one of those moments that changes how a fight feels. Stevenson responds the only way he knows how, with precision. He fires back clean counters, threading shots through Lopez's guard and reminding everyone why he's still undefeated. Neither man backs up. The exchanges become tense, controlled, and increasingly personal. As the bell sounds, both fighters give each other a small nod, a silent acknowledgement of the war that's unfolding. Now the championship rounds are here. Lopez comes out with a clear mission. The pressure ramps up right away. He takes the center of the ring and refuses to give it back, forcing Stevenson to circle wider and work much harder. The body attacks become the centerpiece of his strategy, each shot aimed at slowing movement and breaking rhythm. Stevenson continues landing clean shots, but his volume starts to drop. His movement, while still skilled, no longer looks effortless. Lopez senses the shift and presses forward with growing confidence, cutting off exits and forcing exchanges on his own terms. The physicality clearly favors the champion now, and the crowd responds, growing louder with every heavy connection. By the end of the round, Lopez is firmly in control of the space, dictating exactly where the fight happens. Madison Square Garden is fully behind him, feeding off the momentum shift. And that's when the fight really starts to tilt. Stevenson opens the round knowing what's at stake. He digs deep, leaning on pure instinct and timing, firing slick counters the moment Lopez steps inside. The shots are clean and well-placed, reminders that his skill hasn't gone anywhere. For brief moments, he still manages to disrupt Lopez's forward march. But Teofimo doesn't slow down. He walks through the shots with stubborn resolve, absorbing contact and answering back with heavier, more damaging punches. When the exchanges heat up, Lopez unleashes thick hooks that crash through Stevenson's guard, forcing him into clinches just to survive the momentum. The fight is starting to look different. Lopez's physical strength is dictating the terms, and Stevenson is spending more time reacting than creating. By the time the bell rings, there's little doubt who controlled the round. The champion is imposing his will, and he smells blood. Lopez wastes no time asserting dominance. He cuts off the ring with authority, stepping into Stevenson's escape routes and refusing to let him reset comfortably. Shakur remains dangerous. His timing is still sharp, but his defense tightens and his movements become more compact as he focuses on minimizing damage. Then it lands. A thunderous body shot crashes home clean, drawing a visible reaction from Stevenson and a collective gasp from the crowd. Lopez capitalizes instantly, pouring on pressure and finishing the round with conviction. The punches aren't wild, they're controlled, purposeful, and punishing. As the bell sounds, Stevenson heads back to his corner, breathing noticeably heavier. His face stays calm, but his body is showing the toll. Madison Square Garden is electric, sensing exactly where this fight is heading. Now it's about survival. Knowing the fight is slipping away, Stevenson answers the bell with real urgency. He rallies with quick flurries and rapid combinations, forcing Lopez to reset for the first time in several rounds. His movement returns in flashes, sharp pivots and sudden angles, just enough to remind everyone of his elite speed and ring IQ. Lopez remains composed. He absorbs the shots without retreating, letting Stevenson work before answering with thudding counters that immediately kill the momentum. Every exchange ends the same way. Shakur lands first, Teofimo lands harder. Late in the round, Lopez times it perfectly. A massive right hand crashes through, rocking Stevenson and sending him stumbling backward. The crowd erupts as Lopez moves in, looking to close the show. Stevenson holds on, covering up as the seconds tick down. The bell rings just in time. As he walks back to his corner, the shift is unmistakable. This fight is no longer balanced. The endgame has begun. Lopez takes command the moment the round starts. He controls the center of the ring with total confidence, cutting off angles and forcing Stevenson into exchanges he no longer wants. Shakur fights on with nothing but heart and technique now, relying on instinct and precision just to survive the storm. The body shots continue to pile up, each one draining a little more energy and slowing Stevenson's reactions. Lopez feeds off it, his confidence growing with every successful exchange. He mixes power shots upstairs with grinding work to the midsection, never letting Stevenson settle. By the end of the round, the story is crystal clear. Lopez isn't chasing a highlight. He's systematically breaking his opponent down. The crowd senses it, leaning forward with every punch. The finish feels inevitable. Lopez comes forward with relentless intent. There's no hesitation now. He presses Stevenson from the opening seconds, cutting off escape routes and forcing exchanges in close quarters. Every step feels heavy and purposeful. Stevenson refuses to fold. He digs in deep, showing remarkable toughness, answering back whenever he can even as the shots keep coming. The exchanges grow heavier, louder, and more violent. The crowd responds in waves, feeding off every single connection. This is no longer about strategy. It's about pure will. Teofimo lands the biggest punches of the entire fight in this round. Thick hooks, crushing body shots, and clean rights that snap Stevenson's head back. Shakur absorbs them, stays upright, and keeps moving, but it's obvious he's running on instinct alone. When the bell finally sounds, there's a collective exhale across Madison Square Garden. 1 round left. Stevenson rises from his stool, knowing exactly what's required. He empties the tank, throwing everything he has left into the final minutes. Quick combinations, sudden bursts of movement, and fearless exchanges. It's a last stand fueled by pride and survival. He controls the distance and picks his moments with the calm of a seasoned pro. But when he commits, Lopez makes him pay, answering with power and precision. In the final minute, Teofimo unleashes a brutal combination that sends the entire crowd into a frenzy. Stevenson remains on his feet, refusing to go down, but the difference is unmistakable. One fighter is in complete command. The other is simply enduring. The bell rings. The fight is over. Both men stand in the center of the ring, soaked in sweat and breathing heavy. As the judges' scorecards are collected, the crowd grows restless, though many already sense what's coming. When the announcement is made, it confirms everything the fight had been saying for the later rounds. Teofimo Lopez wins by unanimous decision. Madison Square Garden explodes. Lopez raises his arms as real emotion finally breaks through the calm confidence he carried all night. He retains the WBO Super Lightweight title once again, proving once more that this division still runs through him. Another challenge answered. Another statement made. Across the ring, Shakur Stevenson listens quietly. No frustration, no theatrics, just quiet acceptance. He didn't get the result he wanted, but he earned something just as valuable: respect. He stepped up in weight, faced one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport, and stayed on his feet through relentless pressure. Still, the fight delivered a clear message. At this level, talent alone isn't always enough. The margin for error is razor thin. Lopez stands tall in the spotlight, belt around his waist, soaking in the moment. At 140 pounds, he remains the standard, tested, proven, and still dangerous. This wasn't chaos or controversy. It was a high-level chess match between two elite fighters pushing each other to the absolute limit. One of the most technical and demanding fights of the year. Shakur Stevenson proved he belongs among boxing's best, even in defeat. But Teofimo Lopez proved something even bigger. He rules this division with experience, control, and unbreakable resolve. As the crowd filters out into the New York night, one question lingers: does this rivalry deserve another chapter? Or is a new challenger already waiting for the throne? Either way, everyone who watched knows they saw something special tonight. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more fight analysis, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Know what's actually insane about Khamzat Chimaev? In that one single minute, he gets to catch his breath between rounds. His mind is already locked and loaded, ready to explode back into the octagon like a damn missile. Joe Rogan just dropped a nuclear take on the Joe Rogan Experience, boldly predicting that Khamzat is going to absolutely kill Sean Strickland at UFC 328. And the MMA world is still losing its mind over it. But let's be real for a second. When Rogan says, kill, he's not talking about anything outside the sport. He's talking about a level of total, soul-crushing dominance that makes you wonder if the two guys are even fighting in the same weight class. This breakdown gives us a raw, unfiltered look into Khamzat's terrifying skill set, his savage approach, and the real vulnerabilities that could either make Rogan's prediction come true, or blow up in his face against a tough, high-volume striker like Strickland. Intro 2. At the end of the day, this whole fight boils down to one thing: cardio. And Joe Rogan made that crystal clear. Khamzat Chimaev didn't just pick up grappling as an adult. This guy started judo at 5 years old and moved into serious wrestling by 12. That's not a hobby, that's a lifetime of building the kind of suffocating, controlling game that can end fights before they even get started. Sure, fans lose their minds over his explosive knockouts and viral finishes, but it's that deep, elite grappling base that could be the ultimate weapon against Sean Strickland. Strickland's takedown defense has gotten better over the years, no question. But he has never faced a relentless, high-level grappler with the raw power and technical mastery that Khamzat brings. That foundation gives the Chechen Wolf a clear backup plan. Even if the striking isn't landing, he can always take the fight where he wants it. Intro 3. We all know Sean Strickland is built different. The guy has a chin made of solid granite and a will that just refuses to break. You saw it in those Yoel Romero wars. The man is durable as hell. But if Khamzat really wants to deliver the kind of kill Rogan is predicting, he's going to need that same non-stop, soul-crushing pressure we saw from Dricus du Plessis when he broke Robert Whittaker. Strickland thrives in long, ugly wars where he can drown you in volume and break you mentally. For Khamzat to dominate the way Rogan envisions, he's going to need a